Hi everyone, I'm Ajahn James, right here at the Thai Yoga Center in beautiful Brooksville, Florida. We're enjoying one of our beautiful summer days here. Today I'm bringing you new information and a really detailed class on how to dive into a neck emphasis. SomaVeda Thai Yoga has many different strategies and protocols based on traditional Thai yoga and traditional Thai yoga massage on how to handle neck, shoulder, and upper back pain, and I'm going to give you a full class on that today. Don't forget, subscribe, share, and like, and let's keep this work supported. Have a great day. Doesn't begin and end with the top of the shoulders. The neck, of course, is the upper end of the spine. In order to really completely release the neck and the base of the cranium and to be able to have more freedom in the shoulders and the neck area, you really do have to bring some energy to the low spine first and work your way up. Think of it like a pyramid, and the base of the pyramid is the major part of the spine, even though what we want to emphasize when we get there is the neck. We still don't want to ignore the fact that the neck is sitting on top of the spine. There are synergistic relationships, both energetic, structural, physical, and emotional, between the neck and especially the low back area, L4, L5, just above the sacrum and hips, all right? So if we bring a little bit of energy to warm up the back first, and then come to the shoulders, and then really finish with an emphasis on the neck, then we're going to get the most response, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is start in the seated position. I'm just going to do general puja and warm-up. Remember, we always start Thai sessions and end Thai sessions with puja. It doesn't matter if it's a clinical session or not, all right? So here's my puja position, is I'm going to frame the hips, wide feet, close into the hips, close knees, my hands as tight to the neck as I can get them without choking. Now, I'm not going to push down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rock forward to bring weight onto the shoulders. One breath in and out, and then I'm going to rock back. Now, when I do that first pressure, what I'm going to do is pause and hold it for a second, and I'm just going to have a visualization of wishing my client well. I just want to wish them well. I want to see this client, I want to see this person, I want to see her being as healthy and as well and as free from pain and restriction as I possibly can. And I want to have that affirmation so that it carries through everything I'm going to do. Even though it's a demonstration, Lydia's body doesn't know that this is a demonstration. All right, so then I'm out, and I'm going to palm walk out, 2, and one more position, all the way to the end of the shoulders, 3, and back, 2, and back, 1. Then I'm going to turn my hands to the back and do the same thing again, as tight to the neck as I can get. I want to see the line of force as I rock forward, going straight down and through the center of her body. So I'm not visualizing that I'm pressing on the shoulders. I'm visualizing that as I move slightly forward with this rock, I drop my weight and center of gravity completely through her body. And the shoulders just happen to be the point of contact. In and back. 1. As tight to the neck as I can get. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with my thumb pressure. It's just going to be static thumb pressure with a stiff thumb, okay? And I'm going to work 5 points, evenly spaced, on top of the shoulder. Now we call these points Lom, L-O-M, or Marma. But they're 5 points, evenly spaced, straight on top of the shoulders here. So here we go. Same pressure technique of rocking forward. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is as wide as I can get, still be on top of the shoulders. And back. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. So far, so good. So I have palm press, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Fingers to the front. Palm press, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Fingers to the back. 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back, fingers to the front. Now you know what I'm going to do next. Same points, but fingers to the back. Now even though that's 1, I'm doing the same points. Because I've changed the angle, I've changed the effect. 3, 4, take your time, don't be in a hurry. 5, and 4. And notice I don't hold these points for any particular time. The idea is progressive and cumulative release principle, and the idea is that we just apply a little bit of pressure in a sort of continuous manner, and it creates the inclination for things to release. All right, so now I've done some warm-up here. Palm press, thumb press, front and fingers position, front and back. Now remember I mentioned about the spine. So now I'm going to warm up the spine. All right, put your hands on the floor. This gives a little bit of support. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure here. Again, it's the Thai equivalent of a handshake by bringing pressure here. Just by putting my hands on the back here, just by thinking about balancing, releasing the energy here, I'm bringing energy, attention, consciousness, breath, and pressure to the points. It's 5 things: energy, attention, consciousness, breath, and pressure. Notice pressure is the little finger. So that means pressure is the least of all the things that I'm bringing to bear to the points and the lines. All right, so I'm going to start here in a nice lunge and with a bilateral palm press, and I'm just going to warm up the back. So palm press up and down. It's okay that there's a little motion there. Motion is good. Everything that's alive is in motion. And back down. And then palm walk up and down. And let's push on those hips a little bit here. Okay. Now, light thumb press. It's a bilateral thumb press. Bilateral, of course, means both sides at the same time. Sometimes we call this a butterfly thumb. Up and down. The width of the steps between each point is approximately the length of my thumb. Always go all the way into the SI. Now thumb walk up and down. Keep the pressure as continuous as you can. And let's go ahead and go back up. Now I mentioned how important the hips were in the low back as far as creating the opening of that pyramidal base for me to be able to work into releasing the neck and doing some really nice deep work on the neck. So I'm going to do a simple rotation on both sides and then a spinal press. So let me show you the rotation first. I'll do it from both sides. So first thing, I'm going to move to one side and reach around. And it's always under and over to the elbow. And then rock back. Okay, so see the position? Reach across, take a nice big breath, and exhale and fall back. That's one. And then turn to the other side. It's always, I'm on an angle, behind. Reach under and over, scooping the hands to the opposite side here. Come back in. I put this edge of my sternum against the inside edge of the shoulder here. I'm a big easy chair here. I want the client to collapse against me and relax. All right, take a big breath. There's coaching. Reach across and exhale. Follow the breath. Pull the knee and drop back into the bridge. This clears the low and low middle back of any obvious obstruction as I'm moving up. Now I want to do the mid back with a spinal push. All right, both hands, lock your fingers behind your neck. All right, good. Reach under and over. Reach under and over. So knees on the low back here. Now I'm not going to pull too far. Just going to take a nice big breath. Exhale, pull straight back. 1. Inch up a little higher. Nice big breath. 2. So far, so good. All right, drop your hand. Great. Now, hands back on the floor. Now we're going to do some more work. Now I'm going to work on the back line of the upper shoulders here. Thumb press. This is called natural thumb technique. It's just a kneading thumb technique where you just get in there and really grab and squeeze. I know we say in Thai that we don't grab and squeeze like in some forms of massage, and that's actually mostly true. 100% except when it's not. And this is one of those cases where we're actually supposed to grab and squeeze. This is what an untrained person would do. This is what your mom used to do to you when you were acting a little stressed, and you just work approximately 5 points out and back. All right? And then I'm going to warm up the neck with a little bit of point work. Step around to the side, step in front, cradle the forehead, and prop on the knee. So I'm supporting her. Now, I'm in position. This elbow position, this high, wide elbow position, is called the broken bird's wing. And it's because I'm working off center from my core, so I need a little extra leverage. So that's why that elbow's up there. Now I'm going to work 8 points up and down the neck. Now there are variations in this procedure. I'm just giving you one flow that will give you really good results when dealing with some chronic neck issues. Neck pain, atrophy, arthritis. You know, and sit back. And always we want to do both sides. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, back. So far, so good. All right. Next position is called Namaskar Mudra. Start with this area just in front of the point of the elbow. So I'm not using the point directly, just this little concave part just in front of it, on top. Now, squeeze my elbows together as tight as they can go without choking, and lean forward. Now, first thing I'm going to do is just warm up the shoulders. So I'm going 3 points. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So again, hug those elbows up and rock forward. That creates pressure. When I rock back, that releases the pressure. Good. Now, when I get to the last point on the top here, I am going to move to the points of my elbows, and right here, the top inside corner of the shoulder. Now I'm about 3 fingers right here, superior to the top inside border of the shoulder blade. There's a point right there, and that's where I'm going to put my elbows. That's a marma, or a wind gate. And when you lean on it, you're going to notice a hard knot under your elbows. And I'm just going to lean on that point and hold for 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, keeping the chin lined up with my arm, push down on the elbows and forward, and lift up and back to arch and stretch. 1. That's called center. Step up to the left, bring the knee right up against the back of the shoulder. Gently turn the head the direction you want to go. This inside corner point of my knee is going to go exactly in the opposite direction of my fingers. Take a nice big breath. Inside hand keeps the head upright. And I push with the knee and drive with the fingers and steer the chin over the shoulder. Of course, at the center. Push forward, raise up, and arch. And now we do the other side. I know this is going to be hard to see on the camera, but you have the idea. And finish back with the center. Okay? Good. Now, light thumb pressure again across the shoulders. And tilt the head forward. Sit. Lock the fingers. Turn them out. Start low. And I drop the elbows to create this pressure. It's like a hinge, like a vice. In fact, that's what we call this, vice like thumb. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to go hard. You have so much leverage here. I'm working these neck points bilateral, as high as I can get them, up and down. Okay, good. Then back to here again. The neck is going to be as tight inside between the thumb and index finger as I can get it. I'm not squeezing with the ends of my fingers. I'm squeezing just with the first short branch of the bones here, of the carpal bones. All right, so I'm going to dig in, elbows high, and it's push and squeeze. Again, I'm not squeezing with the fingertips. The pressure is coming really high into my hand. That's why it's very strong. Up and down. Now I'm going to use the fingertips. I'm going to lock my fingers stiffly in this shape of a C here. And this is called a tiger, because the tiger bites. I think you can catch that, but it's hard. So what I'm going to do now is with the C-clamp compression, I'm going to get behind the muscles here and before the transverse spinal process, and I'm literally going to dig in like I'm trying to bite. And as I apply pressure, I'm going to literally pull the muscles away from the neck. Okay, this is a strong technique. Make sure your fingernails are nice and trim before you do this. Now the caveat, the caution here, if I'm too far to the side, I'm on the transverse process here, I'm not on the muscle, and it just hurts, and it doesn't help. It just hurts and it doesn't help. So I want to be just a little bit behind that bony edge of the transverse process, but get in there, These muscles may feel very hard and very ropey on someone who's had a lot of tension in their neck or who has some atrophy. Work it up and down. Good. And back up. And now I'm going to do a cranial lift to start releasing the base of the cranium. Now if you come close, you can see right here where the hairline dips in this little W, okay, the hollow points here, which equate to the acupuncture points gallbladder 20. Now I'm going to put my thumbs lightly right in those points, fingertips in front of the ear over the temple, and roll the head back as far as I can until she's facing up. From there, let's take a nice breath and rock back. And then I'm going to drop my elbows and push straight up. This is like putting pressure to pull the cork out of a bottle. It's like I'm literally trying to express her cranium right off the top of her neck. It's actually an atlas occiput release, but in Thai it's just cranial lift. Hold for 5, gently release, and rock forward with some light finger circles. This is just to make nice. Okay. Now stand up, and I'm going to do a little technique here, which the first time, turn a little bit to the quarter, like just turn this way a little bit. Okay, that's good. All right, so from this position, all right, first thing I want to do is just some loose mobilization, cupping the ears, and just rotate the head, nice and easy, not fast or hard. And turn gently to the side and rock back and the front. Okay, turn to the front, cup the fingers up under the base of the head and rock back. And once you're in this position, pull up with a rolling motion. And then turn to the opposite side, nice and easy. And turn, a little rotation. Now, come back to center, back to the other side. Gently turn the head, and once you hit the stop, or as far as the head can go comfortably in that direction, gently rotate to the front and to the back. Just keeping the pressure on there gently. Now come back to the other side, to the stop, and to the front, and to the back. Nice and easy. And then little circles. Now, sit back against me. Tilt the head forward. Nice deep breath. And press. Using my knees for support. Inhale. And keep the head square. Hand on the shoulder, big breath. And exhale. Very important here that the head stay perfectly square. Inhale. Notice I'm coordinating with the breath. That makes sure I don't hurt or strain. Gently lay to the other side. Again, the face has to be forward. The angle is perfectly square. And on the tip of the shoulder and press. Now you can also work points all the way to the base of the neck here with palm pressure, while gently pressing on the head over the ear, and then also thumb pressure. Wherever you find a tight line or a hard point, you can hold that for a little extra emphasis. Okay, gently back. Let's do the other side just to keep our balance. And 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so far so good. The next one, this technique takes a little bit of balance. So, holding onto the head to make sure I have a good stable situation here. Bring this knee up on top of the shoulder. And now once I'm in position, I'm going to push with both hands gently on the head while I use my shin on top of the shoulder. This is a very strong technique. If you can't stand on one leg at all, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you've been doing a little bit of yoga practice and you've been practicing your Tadasana posture, mountain posture a little bit, and can stand on one leg for a few seconds, you can do this. I'm using my client's body, I'm right up against her, so I'm using her partially for support. So it's not just a free bounce situation. I've got the head, I've got my leg up against her body. But nice and easy, nice and slow, and bring the leg up. 1, and 2, and 1. Good. Now from there, turn this way. Still doing releases. Now this time, just so you can see what I'm doing, take my hand as high as I can get it at the base of the cranium here. And I'm going to roll her head back on top of my hand, and then I'm going to roll her back on top of my leg. And what I'm going to do is traction and decompression technique. Light stabilizing pressure on the forehead. Be careful, don't poke in the eyes. And in fact, in general, try to keep your hands off of the face as you're doing these kind of techniques. We kind of have a rule. Unless you're actually doing a facial, keep your hands off the face. All right? Now, so here I am, and what I'm going to do is take a nice breath. Then as she exhales, I'm going to relax the leg back until she's literally falling into that neck brace. And that's where the traction and decompression occurs. I'm keeping my hands strong and release, and then squeeze the base of the neck. That part's a little hard to see. But I'm squeezing, and then I'm doing opposite circles. So in other words, my hands are going like this. So I come out of that traction decompression as I release into these circles, squeezing the base of the neck to free it up, and then roll right back in and do it again. There's the lift. You'll notice as you're doing these kinds of techniques, vertebrae moving, things are popping, things are cracking. It's called spontaneous correction, and it's quite normal. And just like a rusty screw, rusty nut, when you first get it moving, if it hasn't been moving in a while, it's going to show some resistance. There's going to be some calcification, it's going to be some spasm, and you're going to be able to tell the rustiness there. Okay, great. Now, while I'm here, I think I'll move to this side. So these points, starting from the base of the cranium all the way down, what I'm going to do is a version of the technique I just did to isolate and bring pressure to those points. And here's how I'm going to do it. So I find that first point with my thumb, bring the head back into it, roll it back on my thumb. Once I have pressure on that angle, I'm going to squeeze and push in. And then I'm going to roll out. And I'm going to move over a little bit, look for a tight point, a hard point there. It's in spasm. I'm going to roll that neck back on top. And then I'm just going to work my way down. So I'm actually levering into these points. So your client may have a lot of restriction to this motion, but because of my positioning, I have a lot of leverage, see? Now we work both sides. Now this side. And out. I'm just going to work down. I'm looking for what feels stuck. Hold it with the pressure, pulling into the thumb, and then release with a little roll into the next point. And to the last point. And back. Wide knees, frame the hips, drop the head forward, hug up, crown of the head, take a nice deep breath, and exhale and pull back into your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and release. Back to the extension. And big breath and exhale. A little rocking in the extension. There's my circles. Back to the shoulders. And I'm going to finish this little flow the same way I started. And finish the last point. Puja. Now I'm going to demonstrate one last technique, which is kind of a bonus. And I'm going to do this because I actually need a prop. Okay? So Julie, would you bring me the white chair? Scoot forward a little bit, Lynn. For most people, especially working with Americans, a lot of us are a little bit overweight. It's very hard to do the pullback release on the mat and release this area right here between the shoulders in the middle of the upper back. But I have a very simple technique, works perfect every time, and all you need is a chair. All right? So I come up behind, sit nice and easy. Now, okay, lock your fingers behind your neck. Okay, and I go under and over, just like we would for any other spinal push. Now, my knees are as tight together as I can get them. Between the shoulder blades, I'll sit up nice and straight, nice big breath, and exhale, and pull straight back. And then come up a little higher, nice big breath, and out. And drop. Drop your hands. And that's it. Couldn't be simpler. All right, that concludes this flow for the SomaVeda neck emphasis for a nice basic neck routine. All right, thank you. Thanks.